Well, we've all seen the headlines. A new critical minerals deal with the United States, celebrated as a triumph for democracy. But the truth is, it's a geopolitical token gesture, leaving Australia dangerously exposed and underinvested. We're being asked to cheer a handshake when what we need is a manufacturing revolution on our own soil, turning our raw minerals into value-added products, keeping the profits and the jobs here at home. Australia is still a quarry for China, not a manufacturer for the world, despite being one of the top 5 producers of critical minerals: lithium, nickel and rare earths. More than 90% of our lithium is exported overseas, mostly to China, where it is refined and turned into products that we buy back at many times the cost. For 19 out of 20 strategic minerals, China dominates refining, controlling around 70% of the global market. That is not just a trade issue, it's strategic vulnerability. The deal with the US is a strategic band-aid designed to secure their supply chain, not to transform our industry. The real profits, high-skilled jobs, the intellectual property, the economic security that comes from processing and manufacturing are still flowing out of this country. Without a plan to process minerals in Australia, we are locked into a low-value end of the supply chain. Even if we wanted to build these facilities, the reality is harsh. Our energy costs are crushing competitiveness. Once our advantage, now a crippling burden. Industrial electricity in Australia costs up to twice as much as in Canada and in the USA, making it almost impossible for local refineries and manufacturing to compete globally. The difference is not minor. It represents tens of millions of dollars in extra costs every year for energy-intensive operations like refinery, costs that make local processing economically unviable. Until the government delivers affordable, reliable and stable power, any plan for domestic processing industry is nothing more than an economic fantasy. Let's be clear, the United States needed this deal far more than Australia. Their defence and clean energy industries are vulnerable because of China's chokehold. Australia had the US over a barrel. We held the leverage, a chance to negotiate tariff reductions for our steel, aluminium and other value-added exports, a chance to demand real investment in our industries, a chance to secure a genuine economic partnership. But what do we get? A handshake and a photo op. The opportunity was squandered because this government prioritised headlines over substance, because the Prime Minister was too worried about negative press over his rocky relationship with President Trump. This wasn't diplomacy, it was capitulation, disguised as achievement. This government could have turned our resources into a bargaining chip. Instead, they handed away with a thank you. The minerals under our feet should be our prosperity, no one else's economy. Without cheap, reliable and clear plan for onshore processing, Australia will remain dependent on China and continue exporting the value of our resources and lose our manufacturing base. We need affordable, firm baseload power. Clean coal, gas and nuclear must be on the table. Without it, investment will go offshore. We need real investment in incentives for domestic processing and smelting so Australian miners can compete on a global stage. We need to focus on value-adding here in Australia, not exporting our jobs, our profits and knowledge to other countries. The Albanese government's mismanagement, collapsing manufacturers, energy instability, red tape, anti-investment policies is driving opportunities away from our soil. This government spends billions chasing net zero targets while our industries collapse under high power prices and regulation. That's not ideological, that is ideological vanity, not leadership. We cannot dig our way to prosperity if we can't power it. But it requires bold leadership. It requires investment, certainty and domestic manufacturing. We deserve more than a handshake. We deserve mining and a manufacturing revolution. Australia must capture the value of our minerals, create high-skilled jobs and secure a sovereign and prosperous future.